Alright, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, all the glory, all the honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that taught us his truth. Blessings to the elect and the remnant of Israelites who are scattered worldwide, who are predestined to be saved. This is Brother Yakao coming with a short little lesson. Lord willing, it'll be edifying. And today's lesson is the knights of the Middle Ages were Israelites. All right, they were Israelites, and the inspiration to actually do this short lesson is I watched the film called The King, which is about Henry V. You know, and if you go online, Henry V, they're gonna show you that he was a skinny cracker, man. All right, and the so-called white man is a bitch. All right, he's a bitch. He wants to be everyone other than who he is, which is an Edomite. All right, he wants to be everyone other than an Edomite. Okay, and Henry V, one of the things that he did, and he was a so-called black man, all right, and all the knights, and this is the reason why on TV they're doing this mockery, okay. Like I saw this article here, all right. It came from this. Where was it? It was this place called Cora Digest, and the mindset of these Edomites, they cannot. They actually believe that they're superior to everyone, even though that they can't go out in the sun without factor 50. Cora Digest said, "Why do some medieval movies portray black people having important roles in society?" Now that's on the Cora Digest, and they show these pictures. So despite seeing these pictures, all right, which is all over the internet, all right, websites galore, because we're in the time where the Heavenly Father is opened the eyes, all right, of the world, but mainly of our people, to know their history and to know the tricks of the devil, okay. And so when you look at the whole period of the Middle Ages, it was a black civilization where whites had nothing at all. They had no standing whatsoever in any of our kingdoms, our empires, only really until the late 1300s. All right, that's when because we had something called the Black Death, which the white man calls it the Black Death, which was in 1348, which massacred our population throughout Europe. That's when we started to incorporate them into our societies. Other than that, we were totally separated from them, to the point where if they had daughters that were pretty, they would even give them to to the governors, who were our people, and say, look, my daughters, so they can be married. So when you see these medieval films, look, black woman in period dramas, and the reason why they're doing it is because they know the secret. The secret is that it was our civilization. So when you see the white woman there, the white woman in the Middle Ages, the white woman wouldn't be dressed anywhere like that. The black woman was the queens. They were the chambermaids, They were the wives, And just like in the Middle Ages, just like now, you have different tiers of people. You have a nobility class, all right? You have people who are so-called working class or middle class, and then you have peasants, okay? They were totally under the thumb of us, all right? And we were like this, okay? So all the queens, all right, people who were the nobility, all right, they dressed like this. The white woman wasn't a factor, and this is the reason why they've put it in these dramas. So people are saying, oh, well, this is rewriting history. No, the white man rewrite history, okay? All right. Now, there's a film called The King. All right. Let's try and see a trailer for it actually. All right. Let's see the trailer for it. And this is about the battle of Henry V in and he goes to France, you know, and there's a battle called Agincourt. All right. Now the battle. Let's see if you put Agincourt battle. Okay. Let's read about it. All right. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was our rule was brutal, man. We were brutal towards each other. Okay. The Battle of Agincourt. All right. A decisive battle. All right. In the 100 Years' War. All right. 1337 to 1453. All right. England and France were going at it for over 100 years. So the Israelites in England, who were the Anglo-Saxons, which means angelic sons of Isaac, they were going at it with the Israelites in France. All right. And remember, in 1348, you had something called the Black Death. And the white man named it that, or the Black Plague. And that came in what year? 1348. All right. 1348. All right. So, see, look, in 1348, all right, the Black Death swept across Europe, killing half of the population. Okay. There were two main types of plague, bubonic and pneumonic. Treatments and cures were based on both natural and supernatural theories about the cause of the disease. All right. And it said supernatural. Now, which race of people are more spiritual and believe in a higher power? It's us. So clearly, this plague was only killing Israelites. Okay. And it's very important because when we go to the Battle of Agincourt and we go back to the Israelites in France fighting with the Israelites in England, okay, it went on for over 100 years, 1337, all right, to 1453. And remember, all right, remember that plague was in 1348 and it lasted 7 years. So once that plague finished, they started fighting again. All right. So the Battle of Agincourt, all right, Henry V, that was around what, 1420, I think it was. Anyway, let's read about it. No, 1415. That's it, 1415. A decisive battle in the 100-Year War, 1337 to 1453, that resulted in the victory of the English over the French. The English army, led by Henry V, famously achieved a victory in spite of the numerical superiority of its opponent. So the Israelites in France had more soldiers, but they lost. All right. Now this film I saw today, and let me say this: it's not that fantastic of a film. All right, and I don't know. I have to research whether it's accurate. Totally accurate. It's got that guy that's in Doom. But let's watch the trailer here. All right. And the main thing we're gonna read about is the knights. The knights of this period of time were all our people. All right. The so-called white man was not a factor in this period of time. All right. He lived in the woods. He was a peasant. Okay. And in fact, in many European countries, they would have a season where our people would go hunting in the woods and kill them for sport because we hated them. Okay? Now let's watch this.
A king has no friends, only followers and foe. A new chapter of my life has begun. As prince, I spent my days drinking, clowning, So you're the different king. France is taunting us. They were my father's enemies, not mine. The screams of your men
shall lull me to sleep at night.
You will not topple this King Henry V of England you so underestimate.
Are you ready for what awaits us?
War is bloody and soulless.
This is how peace is forged.
Do you feel a sense of achievement?
Surrender to me.
King of England. Are you scared?
On me!
Already I can feel the weight of this crown I wear.
Now that's the trailer, and if you noticed in there, when you see the battle scenes, it had knights, right? Now the knights were all our people, all right? They were all Israelites, and the knights were a very integral part of our kingdom, all right? Now, firstly, let's get a scripture because we always has to edify, all right? The Lord said we would discontinue from our heritage. We all know that scripture, all right? You know, but for those who are new to this, all right, this is the reason why we don't know our history, all right, because the Lord took it away from us because of our sins, okay, all right. We go to the book of Jeremiah, all right, 17, and we always bring this out, but we have to bring it out because there might be people that are new watching, all right. All right, Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, so your knowledge of who you are, all right, shall discontinue from your heritage, from thine heritage that I gave thee. See, the Lord gave us a heritage. He gave us a name, us being Israelites, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Lord said we would discontinue from thine heritage. What does the word heritage mean? Let's look it up. Heritage definition. All right. Let's see. What is the real meaning of heritage? All right. It's the Oxford English Dictionary defines heritage as property that is or may be inherited as an inheritance, valued things such as historic buildings, all right, that have been passed down from previous generations, all right, and relating to things of historic or cultural value that are worthy of preservation. So basically, your heritage is something you pass down from one generation to another. So it's the stories that you have, all right. It's for example, in my family, I know that on my mom's side of the family, my mom's grandfather was a freed slave who went to Nova Scotia in Canada. Okay, I know that on my dad's side of the family, they're from Sierra Leone, and I know that my granddad was someone respected in the community where he was raised a devout Muslim and so forth. All right, my dad, he's passed away now. He was a doctor. How do I know that? Because he passed. How do I know these stories? Because they passed it from one generation to another. So Jeremiah 17:4, you are going to discontinue from that. All right, you're going to discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. So the Lord is going to make you discontinue from your heritage. So you're not going to know what your past relatives have done, what their achievements was, what they did, what they worked as. This is deep. All right. and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not. All right. So we are to serve our enemies in a land that we know not. So that's not just America. That's the same over there in Grenada. That's the same in Barbados. All right. Israelites are in Nigeria. That's still not our land. Our land is the nation of Israel. The where them gutter rats are right now. All right. Or them Arabs who are saying Palestine, Palestine. That's our land. All right. But we have discontinued from our heritage. All right. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. All right. So the Lord said it will burn forever. When He means forever, that forever is a period of time. All right. Now the Lord is giving mercy unto us. All right, because He said He'll wake us up in these last days, and a part of the waking up is to know your history. Okay, and you have to know and understand that this history of the Knights in Europe, and even though it was a brutal time, all right, is our history, and they know it, man. All right, that's the reason why they're doing all these programs trying to mock, and also it's getting crackers mad because crackers think that they are they think that they are superior to everyone. All right. Now there's a good website here. It's called Real History, realhistorywww.com, as you can see up here. All right. Let me highlight it. All right. It's an excellent website, so you should go to it. realhistorywww.com. All right. And here it has a good thumbnail. All right. And this is what the white elites, the Edomite elites, have done. All right. If you look at this thumbnail, it says, "We got these niggers believing they're African." See? And they're all laughing. You know, it's got George Bush Sr. there, who's dead now. See, look, dumbass niggers. Look, now Ronald Reagan. Now we control their land and whole livelihood. Look, this guy. Look at the speech bubble. Changing their identity was the best thing we've ever done. This is Warren Buffett, I think it is. They actually let us educate their children. You know, George Bush here, Senior. Charles Darwin was a genius. And this guy here, they think Negroes only exist in one continent. And that's, this devil, man. But they're absolutely right because, hey, Europe is a continent, all right? And we ruled that in the period of time called the Middle Ages. Okay? All right? And a part of that, all right, is mockery because we're going to get back to this. And this is another good website called nairaland.com where you can get a lot of our history. And this is something that in Holland they do every year. They do these parades. And look at the clothes that they're wearing in these parades where they do the blackface. And they still do it to this day. So the Dutch know, all right, they know, a lot of the Dutch know that Holland used to be an actual black country. And the reason why they started this celebration was the expelling of the Israelites in Holland. They started to celebrate it by doing this, and that's why they wear medieval garb. I mean, this is medieval dress. All right, this is medieval dress. This is medieval dress. What they've got. Okay, so they know, man. They know. This devil. They know. They know. They know the truth. Okay. All right. They know the truth. Okay, now there's something I wanted to get here. All right, so that's what the word heritage actually means. But this battle at Agincourt was brutal, man. All right. Now the reason why the Israelites in the Middle Ages always had war, and that's why they had a purpose for knights, because the knights were battlers and warriors, so forth. They always had this kind of nature of wanting to usurp taking what other people have got. And the reason why our people had that is because of the curse that the Lord put upon us in the book of Deuteronomy. When you go to Deuteronomy 28, because we didn't keep God's law, statutes, and commandments, he lists all the kind of curses he'll put on us. All right. So if you start from verse 15, all right, and I'll just read it for those people that are new. All right, Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right. So if we didn't keep God's law, statutes, and commandments, which are in the Bible, God will put curses on us. And one of them is that, all right, which is very important when we talk about the nights and the Middle Age period, is verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, all right, so we're talking about men here, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. All right, and who is your brother? A fellow Israelite. All right, and then it concludes, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Okay, and I have to say that in the period of the Middle Ages, all right, there was a tendency. There was a tendency for many of the knights, okay, to look after their, go home to their wives and so forth. But in that period of time, there was a tendency for them to be very swift with the sword to their brother. And it doesn't matter whether it's the Battle of Agincourt or any other. The Israelites in France are still your people. All right? But they were swift with the sword. Why? Because of that curse. All right? So in that period of time, there's no point. I mean, the white man wasn't a factor. All right. And the way you know that this is us is, look, this is Henry V, who was very young at the time, being, anointed by the church, the Roman Catholic Church, as the king. You really believe that white people are going to do that? Do you really believe that white people believed in God? The biggest power in the Middle Ages was the church, and then after that it was the nobility, and then under that it was the knights. That's the order of the power that happened in the Middle Ages. All right, now there's a video that will show, I've got one here, where is it, an old video of mine that I did. Let's see now. And it shows, many of the people in the Middle Ages and how they were. It's a very old video that I did. All right, and I'll just put the volume off, and all right, shows you, all of these images here. All right, and if you look at the artwork, I mean, black angels, this is middle-age artwork, Angel Gabriel. All right, this is the arms of Ashford in Kent, England. All right, this is a picture of Pentecost. Okay, so it shows, look, more artwork of angels. This is all middle-age artwork, but there was so many of them. This is King Solomon. There was so many of them. All right, there were so many of them that the white man, he whitewashed a lot of them, but there was too many for him to whitewash. All right, we're talking about 325 AD to late 1300s, even really up to 1700s. That's when they finally got rid of the majority of our population in Europe. All right, and they did it via slavery. All right, so in America, many of the slaves, all right, many of the slaves that are in America, all right, 30% roughly came from Europe. All right, and there's different videos that I did. I think is it transatlantic slave trade. I think it's this one. You know, this is one with the the apostles. All right, transatlantic slave trade in Europe. All right, so they know because
Right. That's why them guys are attacking me now. Because a lot of those guys, those other Israelite
see
groups, what you're gonna find
we got it from them. I mean, this is not like, oh, like the information that I'm telling you. It's not like, God divinely gave this information to me. No, this is from our teachers. That's why we say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. All right. So that's why there's prophecies in the Bible, and one of the prophecy is that we'll just continue for our heritage, but the Lord says He's going to give it back to us, man. All right. This is Colossians chapter 1 verse 26. Even the mystery which have been hid from ages and from generations. So one generation to another of our people, this has been hid. All right. But now is made manifest to His saints. And who are the saints? Us, man. And this is the reason saints are the Israelites. All right. We are the Israelites. All right. The saints are the Israelites. Psalms 148 and 14. Let them praise the name of the Lord, and the Lord's name is Yahweh. All right, it means He is, or the existing one. So when you look in English, it's Jehovah, but in Paleo Hebrew, it's Yahweh. All right, He is. All right, for His name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. Verse 14. All right. Verse 14. All right. He also exalteth the horn of His people. All right. The praise of all His saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto Him, praise ye the Lord. So the only people that the Lord cares about is the nation of Israel. All right. All right. And that's why He spanks us so hard for going off. And in the period of time that we're talking about, the Middle Ages with the knights, they were going off, man. All right. They were going off. They were doing a lot of wickedness, man. All right. They were doing a hell of a lot of wickedness. And there's more images of the knights here. The so-called white man pretending that the knights were white people. Look, there you go. All black, man. All right. And there was no white knights. All right. No white knights, see? None whatsoever. There was no white knights. None whatsoever. All right. None whatsoever. They did not exist. All right. After the pandemic that we had in the so-called Black Death, all right. Yes, whites were conscripted into our kingdoms and into our armies. All right. But they did not have that level where they would be a knight. You have to be absolutely out of your mind, man. All right. Our people did not permit that. that did not happen. Okay. That did not happen, man. Okay. And this is a good, as I said, Nairaland. Now, when we talk about the knights, one of the most famous knights were the Knights Templar. And unfortunately, all right, you can research this for yourself. All right. This is on Nairaland. All right. All right. See, it says the Moors. And the term Moor is a generic term which just means black. All right. Anytime you hear the word Moor, it's us. They try to say, oh, the Moors were just the Muslims, the blacks that ruled Spain, Italy, and Portugal, who were Muslim. No. The Christians, the Israelites that were in France who were Christian, all right, they were Moors as well. All right. So it's just a generic term. All right. And they had something called the Knights Templar. And the Knights Templar were all black people, man, Israelites. All right. And it was a secret society. And they worshipped Baphomet. Okay. So they were worshipping another god undercover. They had a code. and an ethic, and that code of ethic was trying to act like they're holier than thou, but really they were worshiping Satan, man. All right, Baphomet. All right, so this is more proof that that period of time the knights were Israelites. Okay, but hey, this is a mystery that's been hid from what has been hid from ages. All right, now this scripture is talking about this scripture is talking about the mysteries of the Bible, but with the Bible history comes scripture, comes history. Okay, all right. So the more we learn and get into these scriptures, the more we learn about history, because history and the scriptures go hand in hand. All right, it goes hand in hand, because in Revelations 20, all right, Revelations 20, all right, verse 1 to 3, that is about us ruling the bottomless pit, which is Europe. Okay, all right. So when you go for Revelations chapter 1 to 3, that is talking about us ruling Europe. All right, and this is Revelations 20 verse 1, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having a key to the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and a great chain in his hand. All right, and the chain represents to shackle someone up, and that's what the so-called white man was. He was a bitch. He was shackled by our people. He was negated. So they were so low in the period of time, the Middle Ages. You know, they lived in barns and stables. They walked barefooted. All right, verse 2, and laid hold on the old dragon. All right, that old serpent. All right, and who is a serpent? Did not the Native Americans, who are Israelites from the tribe of Gad, say that the white man speaks with a forked tongue? Which creature has a forked tongue? A snake. Okay, which is the devil and Satan. All right, the word devil means deceiver. That's all it means. And Satan is an adversary. It's a spiritual demon. All right, and by the way, that spiritual demon is controlled by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, the book of Job tells you that. All right, and bound him 1,000 years. 1,000 years. All right, so he was bound 1,000 years, and that period of time was the time that we're talking about in the Middle Ages, man. All right, where we had knights and so forth. All right, so we've been discontinued from our heritage. But let me say this. All right, let me say this about the knights and so forth. They were brutal, man. It was a brutal period of time. All right, it was a brutal period of time. Okay, it was brutal, man. All right, now we're gonna hear this about the knight's duties. All right, for those naysayers, watch this video and listen to it. And who does this sound like? Does this sound like black people, or does this sound like white people? All right, let's see.
Medieval Knight. Hello and welcome to this video where we'll be exploring the daily duties of medieval knights. Medieval knights were an important part of medieval society and played a crucial role in the protection and defense of their kingdoms. Morning routine. Medieval knights would start their day early, often rising before dawn. The first task of the day would be physical exercise and training to maintain their strength and combat skills. Religious observances. After their morning workout, knights would participate in religious observances, such as attending mass or private prayer.
Now, mass or private prayer. Who would do that? Does the so-called Caucasian believe in God? He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in God. He's just done a very fantastic job of whitewashing history. And that's why this is realhistory.www.com. All right, that's why all of these websites, they're fantastic, man. All right, because basically they show you that this devil is just it's just whitewashed. You know, they've just, I mean, look how pale these characters look, man. You know, why has this cracker got a nappy curly hair? You see, Henry Henry VIII. Now this is the real picture. I mean, look at Henry VIII. Why is Henry VIII as a baby got nappy hair like this, man? Because he was a so-called black man. All right, that's Henry VIII right there. All right, that's little Prince Henry. Yeah, look at his nappy hair, man. His little afro. But that's what they've whitewashed him as. All right, and the Bible said that they will do that. Okay. All right. And as I said, I talked about that Black Plague. After that Black Plague, this picture of this is a man called John Black, which was one of Henry VIII's trumpeters. All right. Notice that he's black, but the rest of them are white. Yeah, because there was something called the Black Death. And by the way, the Black Death spanned for 7 years, but it kept coming back. It came back in the 1400s, 1500s, and 1600s. And it was only killing our people. It wasn't killing the white peasants that we ruled over. All right? It wasn't killing them. Okay? So that's how the Lord was saying that your 1,000 years of rule is up, man. All right? It's up. Okay? And then you can see coinage here from one of our people. You know, look. You can clearly see that this is a civilization. This is King Philip of Spain. You know? All of this is just all whitewashed images. And if you think about it logically, it's sad, man. It's sad that they have a whitewash. I mean, I think this is supposed to be Mary Queen of Scots. This is madness, man. They've whitewashed her, badly, man. Now this is the real King James, and he's a black man. Okay. So all of these things, you have to understand that this devil has done it very very subtly, because he's the devil. That's what he was supposed to do. Oliver Cromwell, who was the devil. All right. So there was a transition period, I would say, from the mid 1400s to 1700s when we started to fall. So it was a gradual fall, all right? And that's how Europe became white, all right? And all of these images are just whitewashed images. I mean, this is King James, one of King James's great grandsons, all right? All right? This is James Francis Edward Stuart, all right, Prince James III of England. And that's the real picture of him. But look what they've done. This is the fake whitewash picture, all right. So you have to understand that this man's a devil, and the Bible said that he would do that, man. All right. The Bible's actually said that he would do this, man. All right, let's get a scripture anyway. This is 2 Ezra 12 and 36. Thou only has been meet to know this secret of the highest. All right, verse 37. Therefore, write all these things that thou hast seen in a book and hide them. All right, and this is talking about the scriptures, but our people, you can incorporate that with the artwork that we're seeing. Our people did so much artwork in the 1,000-year rule, all right, that we had, right? So much artwork that we had in that period of time, they couldn't whitewash all of it. Okay, I mean, look at this. All of this cannot be hidden as much as they could, and this is our last monarch, King George III, who they've whitewashed. And think about it logically. Have you ever seen a cracker that has big rubber lips like this, man? And that's the image that really looks like him. All right, he was a so-called black man. That was his woman, Charlotte Sophia of Mecklenburg, who was so-called mixed race. And they've basically had painters that painted her as a straight-looking Caucasian woman. And there was one painter that said, "I refuse to do this." So you have to understand, and that's the Barbados penny. All right. And that is one of King George III's sons that is on that coin. And you can see that they're all black. So you have to understand that they've whitewashed history. So when you look at the knights in this period of time, this guy said, all right, they will do physical exercise, but what else did he say? Let's read it.
Maintain their strength and combat skills, religious observances. After their morning workout, knights would participate in religious observances, such as attending mass or private prayer.
See, mass or private prayer. That doesn't sound like an average Caucasian. They don't believe in anything.
Religion was an important part of a knight's life, and many believed it was their duty to serve both God and their country.
There you go.
War duties. War was a constant threat during the Middle Ages, and knights were called upon to defend their kingdoms against enemy attacks. Knights would spend much of their time training for battle, participating in battles and sieges, and protecting the kingdom and its people. Chivalric duties. In addition to their military duties, knights were also expected to participate in chivalric events, such as banquets, jousts, and tournaments.
Yep.
These events were a way for knights to demonstrate their skill and prowess, and to gain recognition and prestige. Conclusion. Medieval knights were an essential part of medieval society, serving as protectors and warriors. While their daily routines were demanding, they also enjoyed certain privileges and opportunities to demonstrate their skills and gain recognition. Thank you for watching. Please support our channel with like and subscribe.
And I will. I'll give it a thumbs up. All right, because the one thing it got right was they would get up early in the morning. They would do exercises, but one of the things was prayer. Now, but who were they praying to? Because, as I said, some of the knights, like the Knights Templar, all right, they had orders and they were worshipping Satan, man. All right, they were worshipping Satan. That's all they. That's basically what they were doing, And the Lord said that, man. The Lord said that our people would go off and do this wickedness. All right, Jeremiah 2, chapter 2, verse 21. Yet I've planted thee a noble vine. And listen, we had nobility in the Middle Ages. All right, a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Meaning that we have degenerated as a people. But if you look at the knights in the Middle Ages, all right, I mean, yeah, they were valiant and they did religious services, but that's still a strange vine unto the Lord, because they were doing it through Roman Catholicism, which was garbage, man. Absolute garbage. Nothing to do with the scriptures whatsoever. Holy Mary, Mother of God, and basically the church fathers, so-called Constantine and the Council of Nicaea and all that. There was one priest that I think his name was Aries. He did not go to that Council of Nicaea. He knew that it was wickedness, and that Council of Nicaea was the birth of the Roman Catholic Church. All right, and that is a strange vine unto the Lord. The Lord did not permit that, man. All right, the Lord did not permit that. The Lord has observances when it comes to prayer. So how were the knights praying? They were. If you look at them before battle, they would pray, man. They would go out to battle because the battles were absolutely brutal. Okay. All right. Let's get one just to show you, and then we just end it to a close. All right. This is in that film, the same film. This is a battle scene in that film. All right, the king. And one of the reasons why many of our monarchs, like Henry V, they used to go out and personally go out, all right, sometimes, all right, like King Harold, and if you look up the Battle of Hastings, William the Conqueror, King Harold, many of our monarchs used to go out and actually fight themselves. And the reason why they did that is because of the history that they knew. Because remember, they knew who they were. They knew that they were Israelites, right? All right, and they knew their exploits and the history of King David and the tabernacle of David, going out and fighting, Goliath and all other enemies of Israel. And many of them tried to do that. Some of them, did well, and some of them failed. Okay, many monarchs were put to death on the battlefield, man. All right, they had this kind of zeal to show their machismo, to show that they were, warriors, and the people, all right, whether they be King of England or King of Germany or whoever, would respect them more because, look, you know what, the king has gone out and fought himself, okay, rather than just send out people to die, okay.
Your father is plague to England. Come for me, big dog.
Remember, when you see these films, they're all black people, man. So-called black people, Israelites. Brutal, man. You know? And that's the eye being evil towards your own brother. That's in the scriptures. So during that period of time, hey, listen, we ruled, but, and the knights did good things. For example, when we did the Crusades, and when we had the Crusades and we were trying to get our homeland back, they, especially the Knights Templar, they protected the pilgrims, because Israelites used to have this yearning desire to go back to their homeland. And when we had the Crusades, we had people from Europe go to Jerusalem. And back then, remember, there was no planes or anything like that. It was, be on cart and horse, then go on boats. It would take a long time. But you had pilgrims that would go from Europe to Jerusalem in that period of time, the Crusades, and the Knights Templar would protect them. Okay, and that's why you have to understand that when you know who you are, all right, as long once you know who you are, you'll understand who you are in your history, and you understand that this man is just a bitch. He's just whitewashed everything. This is absolutely your actual history. So when you see these period pieces of Middle Ages, for example, like this film, The King, which is the Kingdom of Heaven, all right, where you have the Knights versus the the Muslims, all right. And by the way, a lot of these Muslims, they weren't just Arabs as well. They were Israelites fighting on their side, man, because you had Israelites that were into Islam. All right, they were fighting on their sides, Okay, and this is the film Kingdom of Heaven. All right.
Your quality will be known among your enemies before ever you meet them, my friend. You were not that man's servant. No, he was my servant.
But again, this devil has made out like this is white people.
What becomes of us? As you deserve. You reap what you sow. You have heard of this, no?
You see, you reap what you sow. Where did he get that from? He got it from the scriptures. So this is our history. So understand that the knights in the Middle Ages was our people. All right. And the only reason why people think otherwise is because of this prophecy. And we'll bring it to a close now. Maccabees, First Maccabees 3 and 48. And that's why once you know that this is your history, you should be what's the word? You should be yearning to see these period pieces, because I watched that thing, The King, and it wasn't fantastic or whatever, but I know about the Battle of Agincourt and how brutal it was, all right, and what the Israelites in England did to the French, and in the film, I won't spoil it for people, but the way it ended was disgusting, man, But anyway, First Maccabees 3 and 48, and laid open the book of the law, which is the Bible, wherein the heathen, and the white man is a heathen, all right, had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So that's why everything has been whitewashed, all right. And when they got rid of us, okay, all right, basically what they did is they started to let me try and find it here. Alright, see here, they basically started to take the piss, for example, in Holland, I'm trying to find it here. There was a place in Holland, as I said, in Holland they have this there you go, they have this festival every year, and they do blackface. All right. See, look, Europeans, and this is on Nairaland.com. Europeans even have festivals today where they dress up in blackface in commemoration of Moorish rule. All right. See, they basically mock the fact that we were ruling over them. All right. So in Holland, they have these street festivals, and look what they're wearing. They're wearing uniform dress that was the black nobility in the Middle Ages. See, all right, black Africans, and we're not Africans, we're Israelites, ruled large parts of Europe for nearly 800 years. All right, more than that, 1,000 years. All right, and that's the reason why they mock us. All right, and in England they have one called what's it called? Darky Day. All right, it's called is it Darky Day, and it's in Plymouth. It's in Plymouth. In Plymouth. All right, it's in Plymouth. Okay. All right, it's in Plymouth. All right, I'll try and find it. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong, but I saw it, and it was an Asian guy that did a documentary about it. It was called Darky. Is it Darky Day? See? Yeah, they got something called Darky Day in Plymouth. You know, I'll try and find it anyway, and I'll try and do a video on it. You know, maybe I'm spelling it wrong, but they do the same thing in England, so the English is no better. But basically, they're mocking the fact that, hey, it was our people that ruled, you know, and that's why they put the black in their face, put the red lips, so forth. Because if you look at that, if you look at the way they're dressed up, that's dressed up like us ruling the Middle Ages, all right? That's how the nobility dressed, all right? Blacks ruled Europe. There you go. See? All right. You see? Same kind of dress. You see? There you go. This is the Habsburgs, and that statue is still there over there in Germany, man. All right. Okay. The Habsburgs. See? So it's all on the internet. So what's in the dark shall come to light. Look, they've just whitewashed everything because they're trying to be like us. So when you see in Germany they got the Iron Cross, know that came from us. All right. Okay. So the knights in the Middle Ages were Israelites. Don't be fooled by this devil. All right. And the main story is the main thing is that we did not have in the Middle Ages is to fear the Lord. All right. Okay. And you'll start to find out that even the Normans, who were the Vikings, they were jakes as well. All right. And there's books on this, man. All right. And this stuff is getting the average Edomite very angry, but we don't care about them, man. All right. We don't care about them. See, when blacks ruled Europe, it's everywhere. All right. So the knights, all right, in the Middle Ages were Israelites, and the main thing for our people now is understand who you are and fear the Lord and come back to your heritage. All right. So to the next one, I'll say shalom.